What is going on, you guys? I want to talk to you today about what Solo could mean for X-Wing, and I am going to be referencing the official guide book by Pablo Hidalgo. Don't worry, I'm not doing full-page scans, but I do have a few small screenshots from within this book. I'm not doing full-page scans. I want you to go out and buy the book because I think it's pretty cool. But we're going to talk about what this means for X-Wing. So before I go any further, spoiler warning, there's stuff in here that is going to talk about the movie. There'll probably be light spoilers. I don't think there'll be super heavy spoilers, but I wanted to give you a spoiler warning. That being said, let's talk about what Solo means for X-Wing. There's some juicy potential stuff in here too. It's pretty cool. So first thing I want to talk about is the Millennium Falcon itself. So, you got that whole front piece here. So in the movie, it is clearly an escape pod and it gets jettisoned. So, and you can even see where the engines are right here in this diagram. So, it's kind of a cool crosscut. I'm not giving you the whole page. I'm not, if you want to read all of that stuff, you read it yourself. It's a very cool book. But cool, just confirmation, right, that we are, there's just an escape pod on here. And there's a whole bunch of extra panels and stuff. And I think this is very much, something that's going to show up. I'm surprised it hadn't been announced yet. I'm thinking that maybe they wanted to wait until after Solo came out. Although, granted, it's already been spoiled by, all of the toys. So why isn't FFG releasing it yet? It's possible. I mean, there was nothing really spoilery about it being an escape pod. I don't think there was anything like it's not like it came out and all of a sudden, boom, Obi-Wan Kenobi, left a little note in there saying, hey, I've got 27 grandchildren and one of them's named Rey. It's not like, there was nothing spoilery in there. So I don't know why, if FFG is making this, they haven't already done it. It's possible they're waiting until 2.0 comes out. Maybe this is only going to be a 2.0 expansion and not a 1.0 expansion. Maybe they're just not doing it. Maybe they said they have enough Falcons already. Maybe instead of this, there will be, maybe it'll be in just an escape pod, and then you can stick it in one of your existing ship models. No idea why it hasn't been announced yet, but I definitely expect this is going to show up for X-Wing. I mean, the whole movie is, so much about this ship, and this ship has a significantly different look, and it makes sense too. It makes sense in the movie why it looks different. I mean, Lando was talking all about it. He was proud of how he customized it, and then all of his special stuff gets kind of blasted away in the movie, and it really explains why it looks different. That being said, this would be also a different movie because you do have only single turbo lasers. You don't have the quad turbo laser turret, so I think the weaponry would be less, or at least different. So there's, and it's got a different sensor dish. So the capabilities of the ship could be drastically different than the capabilities of the Millennium Falcon that we know from the Galactic Civil War. That being said, let's jump on to, the heavy lifter here. So this heavy lifter is pretty interesting because the AT Hauler, it's called. The AT Hauler. Again, not giving you a full page. I just want to give you an idea of it. It talks about this. There's more than one screenshot of this, or there's more than one looks at this ship. And one thing that's interesting in this one that you probably might not have picked up on in the trailer is that this can actually go in space. So this is a spacefaring craft. It can carry AT-ATs. I think it would be smaller than a Gozanti, so it's possible this could fit on a large base. It would be kind of large because it's, the arms are pretty big, but it can also be something that moves too. Like the arms go up when it lands. But it's got this cool lower section that is just exposed to atmosphere. Then it's got its sealed section up top. So that much is kind of cool. I kind of like this one. There's also this luxury yacht that is not really in the book. So there's really no mention of they talk about the luxury yacht, but there's no screenshots. They talk about the inside of the yacht. The yacht's just long and tall. I guess it kind of looks like maybe a sail or something like that. It is very opulent, very, very, very pretty, but it has no place in any of our tabletop gaming unless it was just some kind of objective ship, like you have to defend the yacht. It doesn't, appear like it's fast. It doesn't seem to have much in the way of weaponry, if anything. So while they do talk about the yacht in this book, they're more or less talking about it as a location rather than a ship. So they don't talk about its specifications. It'd be kind of cool if there was another book that came out that really broke down into the specifications. So also, I do want to talk about, like, there's no capital ships really in this book. There are capital ships in the movie, but they're kind of just like in the background. They don't really showcase any of them. So if you were excited about capital ships, then you're not going to get it. The next part though is really cool. I think you guys are really going to like the next part. Or maybe I'm wrong. But before I do, I want to remind you there's still another round of the giveaway. You still got a few days left to enter. All you have to do is become a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. And you can win a $20 Cool Stuff gift card so you can get an expansion of your choice. That being said, now I got all that stuff out of the way. The new TIE Fighter. So let's look at this thing. First off, it's kind of a cool up look. But first off, it's the TIE RB. All right, and it's got these twin laser cannons. Twin laser cannons, so it may be a TIE with a cannon slot. But I think what's so important about this is some of the specifications. It talks about in-flight support on the TIE RB operations is provided by an MGK-300 integrated droid intelligence. It operates in a manner similar to an astromech counterpart. And that's you can see it there. It's highlighted. I wonder, could the Empire actually get a ship that can take astromechs? Could that happen in X-Wing 2.0? This might be the one to do it, or maybe. Granted, you can take this a couple of different ways, and I think this is kind of exciting. First off, that might not be as broken as it seems, considering that what we've seen from X-Wing 2nd Edition. It's showing that a lot of your astromechs are already bound by faction anyway. But there are some that are universal. And with, since they've, future-proofed it in that way, if they left a couple of weaker powered astromechs to be universal, it might not break anything. But might be cool. It might not mean as much as it would have meant for X-Wing 1.0. But if you can take an astromech on here, that'd be kind of cool, because that's one of the things that the Empire never had. It was the Rebels thing, but it seems like it's becoming more universal since now Scum has access to the astromech as well. They got rid of the salvaged astromech. They just made them all astromechs and made them all faction specific, most of them faction specific. So it's possible. Now granted, if you read this verbatim, it's got something else that's similar to an astromech. So basically, if I'm reading this literally, it's saying this does not have an astromech. It's got something else that's like an astromech. However, I don't think that FFG got this book. What I'm saying is, the way I understand it is they get, I think this has been asked before, and that they get a paragraph or so of information. Like, here's a description of this ship. Go ahead and make one for your game. With reading some, if this ship's description, if it had something about astromech operations, droid intelligence, it might have passed it might have said, oh, okay, well, here's a ship that can potentially take an astromech. Again, it might not be the same. But I think that's kind of cool. I think that is pretty cool. Now, the other thing that's cool is that you got a TIE that can put that. I'm assuming that if it doesn't get astromech, I think it's definitely going to get cannons. But then again, it might not. It might just have a higher attack value. It might be a TIE fighter with attack 3 or 4. But I think a TIE fighter with the cannon slot seems pretty likely. And it's also safe enough for them to give an astromech slot too. If it becomes broken, they can just take it away because the app is going to run all of that stuff. But yeah, so TIE fighter possibly getting an astromech slot. We got the AT hauler possibly as a carrier. Look, you've got deploy is kind of streamlined now. This thing can hold just about anything. So you could use this to as a small version of a Gazanti. The deploy mechanic is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. And then we got the Falcon's escape pod, Would the escape pod be its own ship? Would there be a new Falcon within escape pod? If the escape pod was its own ship, will it fit into all the other Falcons? Like, there's so many questions here. I think that would be really cool. And the thing is, would it actually even fit in, or is it going to be like the Phantom, that it doesn't go on? It sits there. Like, I would very, very, like, with all the stuff they're doing, all right, with making the S-foils move, redesigning the Y-wing, making the Fang Fighter stuff move, I think it stands to reason maybe we'll actually see like an escape pod or a shuttle or something like that can actually physically dock. They did that with the Gazanti, right? They made that physically dock too. So, this is all basically out of Solo, the official guide, and it's a cool book, man. There's a lot of stuff here. So I definitely suggest you go out and pick yourself up a copy. There's more pages in this, I think, than any of the other guides before. Now, I will say this. As far as other games, Armada doesn't have much in here, but I think if you play Legion, there's an awful lot of stuff in here that can lend its way towards Star Wars Legion. So if you are a Legion fan, check this thing out as well. But there's some stuff in here for X-Wing too. Plus, you've got some, other craft that, like, you got speeders, you got swoop bikes, you got all kinds of other stuff like that that's talked about in here that I don't really see working in X-Wing. Even though swoop bikes could be cool, I just don't think they'll do them. But that's a speculation for another day. All right, guys, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you're thinking down in the comments below. Don't forget to check out Crabbok.com. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell for alerts. And hang out in my Discord. Submit some of your favorite paint jobs, because I'm going to be featuring user-created paint jobs, user-submitted content. And we're going to kind of do a featurette on that periodically. So thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day.